into this thing, but when they say rapidly evolving, it just kind of seems to me like we don't pivot quickly enough, or we have a great idea and then we abandon it after a week.
And let's go into the Zoom room. We've got
Let's
to
go.
keep this going.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Hi, Tomas. Good morning.
Good morning, Ling family. Today, reporting live from Saipan at the Eloy S. Enos Peace Memorial Park here in Puerto Rico in Saipan. So, giving you that view there, and wanted to just provide you the latest to getting off the CNMI press conference. Some new interesting developments internally too. I mean, this morning they enacted some new rules where you're only allowed to ask 2 questions per round. Chris, something you might be familiar with.
Yeah.
So now they're changing it up. So wanted to provide some updates though. We still ask questions, and the CNMI Governor Ralph Torres responding to, of course, the big announcement yesterday that we streamed live on Facebook about the Lieutenant Governor Arnold Palacios and current Saipan Mayor David Apatang announcing their run for governor and lieutenant governor next year. The governor saying that he'll continue to do the job that he set out to do, and he's made his announcement with his running mate, Senator Vinny Sablan. And a lot of people saying, what does this mean for their working relationship? While the election's also a year out, this also means that there's a year left to work with each other. I believe their doors are just two doors down from each other up on the hill. And so we asked what that means. He says he's going to remain focused. He's going to remain focused on his job with containing COVID, making improvements to the travel bubble, trying to bring tourism back to the CNMI as you can in a COVID-19 era. And so we also asked him for his comment as the chief of staff. His new chief of staff, Will Castro, was subpoenaed in his capacity as a former sitting senator. He said everyone has the right to due process. And of course, the press conference just wrapped up a few minutes ago that they hold it over Zoom every morning at 8 a.m. And we'll be sharing that full press conference on KUAM as well. Those were some of the updates. And also, they updated us on the USS Frank Cable, which docked on Saipan and has about 500 sailors who they say will undergo the same protocol. They got tested on day 1, and they're also going to get tested on day 5. And as Chair Warren Villagomez put it, they'll be released after that for some R&R here on Saipan. And just one last update regarding Mr. Butterfield's situation, the CNMI resident who, quote unquote, escaped quarantine. They said that today is his 10th day, and he's expected to be released today, as we reported that the protocols are in fact different for those who are unvaccinated and don't provide a negative PCR test. So some of the latest information right outside of the CNMI press conference that just happened a few minutes ago.
Did they say anything or address how he was able to just walk right on out?
They said it won't happen again, and that's what they said. And so we asked. We were only allowed 2 questions. I'm not sure if I could repeat the same question as my second question, but but they said it's not going to happen again. They said that in a very strict tone, and so I'm just not so no exact details. I mean, of course, when we were reporting live outside of the Kenora Resort, we saw those police officers posted. But in terms of him leaving quarantine earlier than expected, he made on his Facebook post that he shared that he was gone and he left quarantine early. He said it was as easy as just walking out the front door. So,
man, Tomas, is all the media on Saipan, are they mad at you?
For what, Chris?
Well, because you only been in Saipan for what, a couple weeks, and they're already changing the rules of the game because Tomas Maglotnia's in town.
I think it just came as a surprise, or maybe not so big of a surprise. But they're limiting it to 2 questions per round. The press conference actually ended a lot earlier than it usually did, but
so
if
you don't let people ask questions, it's over fast.
And so in fact, one of the other reporters says only 2. Can I reserve some of my questions for later? And so hopefully we'll get to ask more. But there are just lots of news happening here, as we've been reporting just even in the last 5 days, and so lots of questions still remain unanswered, and we'll continue to just ask those questions as I guess they make it allowed. And of course, the press conference isn't the only venue for that, but it is one of the venues that one of the radio station hosts every week, and something that people in the CNMI tune into and look to for information. And we've been attending every week, asking questions. And so now we're just going to have to work with 2 questions each round. And hopefully it's not going to be chiseled away to just one.
Well, welcome to our life, Tomas, because that's kind of been the rule of the pandemic for a long while under Governor Lou Younger and Lieutenant Governor Josh Norris. So what you do is you ask one question, but you keep going and you make it like multiple parts. You know what I mean? We pretty much are experts at asking 2 questions, but it's really like 10. And you're right. I mean, I don't understand the need for information, especially if an administration like ours is not forthcoming with it. It's so great that 2 questions, it's really just an insult. You know what I mean? I mean, because 2 questions is just like, where are we? What are we doing? And then the answer warrants even more. I'm sure you get it. Tomas, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. And Chris, I think it's also helpful to note, right, that there's only about maybe at any given time, there's at least 3 or 4 reporters. And if you each get 2 questions, that's about just 8 questions for the entire time. And so I don't know. If,
so it's just one round?
Today we had 2 rounds today, and then they opened it up. And then usually, so the way it works is that CNMI Governor Torres usually shows up just for about the first 10 or 15 minutes. And so his round is restricted to 2 questions. And so, we'll see the latest on that, and we'll be there again next Friday to ask more questions.
Thank you, Tomas. You
Thanks,
keep asking, bro.
Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Tomas Magluttania live from Puerto Rico, Saipan. That's so beautiful. Wow.
All right, do we have daily questions? Is that what you're doing over there? No? All right. Well,
Do we have daily question? Oh, wait, hold
Transition over
on.
to-
Tomas, do we have daily question?
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Okay.
So as we were just talking about Saipan quarantine yesterday for our daily question, we asked viewers if should Guam reinstate a mandatory quarantine for incoming travelers. Lots of spirited comments there if you want to read them for yourself on our KUM social media pages. Wanted to share some of the highlights from those comments. The first one coming from Marie Pauline on Facebook. She says, quarantine is for containing something. We have globally lost containment. Travel is no longer a risk factor in catching COVID. You can just as easily catch the virus on island as off. Eventually, we want tourists to return. Now is the time to work on a non-quarantine traveler program, she writes. The next few comments we wanted to share, this one coming from Francis on Facebook, says, yes, let's not forget how we got our very first COVID-19 positive case. Connie commenting right after, yes, my hubby cringes every time he sees a plane come in, she writes. Kelly and saying no, she does not want mandatory quarantine. And Agabito saying yes. And just the last batch of comments we wanted to share from the many comments that we received yesterday. Jumping now to our Instagram feed. One commenter writing here, no, that will hurt us. Can I just come back home with my vaccinated family without any more obstacles? We are being very compliant, he writes. Ray writes here on Instagram, no, I already bought my $2,000 ticket to visit my dad. I haven't seen him in 2 years. This is ridiculous, he says. Vanny writing, no, it never worked, so I keep doing it. And then the last comment we wanted to share there from Mantai29 saying, yes, great line of defense. Look at the CNMI. They're doing an awesome job. So we wanted to share that daily question responses with you. And as always on Fridays, we ask you for your questions. And we try to share your questions too and ask them for your fellow Islanders to engage with you in that conversation. So thanks always for your comments on that.
all right. Thank you so much, Tomas.
Hey, we're going to take a quick break, guys. We're coming back with more of The Link next. Good morning.
After a year with
This
so many
holiday
games
season,
and
we're
events,
once again bringing together the island's largest array of local vendors for a special innovative way for you to shop, broadcast, and go digital with Team